myself. Oh no, give me that sound. Oh, I gotta go like Cobain. 8 years to the grave, gone insane. My blood got propane. How you gon' go and throw my name with shame? Already cross-faded, making it to the disco. I hate it, and you know how this goes. You framed it, picture painted in my room. This that real life shit, none of Zoom, got the scene in it.
Make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? Show most, that's the most. JerCrispy? Look back in that video. Squidward Atlantean theory finally solved? SpongeBob truth? Wait, did I say my intro? Oh, what's up, y'all? Show the most, that's the most. JerCrispy, look back in that video. I don't know if I had forgot. I don't know, sir. Let's go ahead and get this started. We're on the road to 500. Let's see what's going on with this. Last time, y'all pretty much liked it. They like 23 views, 2 likes. You know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for the start. But hey, we need, once we start getting pulling more and more, it's gonna come through. You know, I ain't rushing nothing. But hey, all this hard work ain't gonna be pay off for nothing. Y'all know we're going crazy in November and December. Okay, need to find me a Christmas hat. Might need to give me another Christmas hat. Or might get a Halloween hat. I don't know. I don't know.
Squidward Tentacles is
On the road to
not who
500.
you think he is. In fact, he's not even what you think he is.
Oh,
For
God.
years, fans have argued, is Squidward really a squid, or is he actually an octopus? Squidward's father himself, Jeffrey Tentacles, confirmed that it was one of his...
Why he this color then? Well, he got the nose like his dad, the mouth like his dad, the eyes like his dad, but he just don't got the skin tone. Hold up, we never saw Squidward mama before. Oh no, yeah, we did. We saw his grandma, his mama, and like them. So okay.
his best jokes to name him Squidward, even though he's an octopus.
I mean, his name is Squidward, but he's an octopus!
But here's the problem. Squidward doesn't actually look like a normal octopus at all. He doesn't look like the other squids either. In
Right.
fact, Squidward doesn't fit anywhere. And that's when I realized, maybe we've been asking the wrong question. Because after days of digging through episodes, background details, and hidden clues, I stumbled on one of the strangest discoveries.
So don't tell me you saying the Atlantean people is actually Squidward people kind.
In this whole Solved series. What if Squidward is the deluded descendant of Atlantis itself? I know how insane that sounds, but once you start lining up the evidence, it all points back to a forgotten bloodline. A bloodline that explains why Squidward has always felt out of place, and truth be told, explains why his life is actually one of the saddest tragedies in SpongeBob history. As I said before, Squidward is supposed to be an octopus, but take one look at him. Other octopuses in Bikini Bottom have 8 arms full of suckers, and their big blob-shaped heads are basically their whole body. And they certainly don't have a big dangling nose covering their mouth. Plus, all of their tentacles practically serve as arms and legs equally. Meanwhile, Squidward has 6 stubby limbs, 2 for arms, 4 for legs. He stands upright.
Wait, that's 6? Nigga, I thought that was always just 4. 2. Oh, 2, 4. Nigga, that's 8 then. Nigga, the fuck? Nigga, how do you get 6, my nigga? Hold on, bro. You got 2 right here. I said this is 2 legs right here and 2 legs right there.
And walks like a human. It almost feels like he evolved beyond what you'd expect from a regular octopus.
Nigga, that's 4.
Krabs is standing on 2 legs, Patrick does, even SpongeBob himself walks like a human, even though he's a sponge. But at least
That nigga Krabs should now walk. That nigga legs be moving fast as hell, bro.
everyone in their species is consistent. All starfish in this city look exactly like Patrick. All crabs look like Eugene, and all sponges, though they come in different colors, look exactly like SpongeBob. So I started wondering why the Squidward species is the odd one out. After all, Squidward is not the only one that looks like that. There are loads of other so-called octopuses that look like Squidward. And the show itself knows this is weird because when SpongeBob shows us a primitive version of Squidward and feral friends, it is a real octopus with 8 tentacles. This
Damn.
suggests Squidward and his kind are an evolved branch of octopus, something between a regular octopus and something else. But Squidward's weirdness goes beyond his body. Every other citizen of Bikini Bottom is comfortable being exactly who they are. SpongeBob embraces his optimism, Patrick is content with being dumb, Mr. Krabs is greedy and proud of it. Squidward, though, is obsessed with being something else, almost as if he wants to be someone else. It's a running gag at this point that Squidward always believes...
my nigga Squidward wanted to be famous. With the clarinet, with the painting. Nigga had dreams, bro. And you know what he stuck at? He stuck with SpongeBob and Patrick ass. And Mr. Krabs' greedy ass. Oh, God.
He is destined to be something bigger than a fast food cashier. His world is stuffed with classical music, Renaissance-style self-portraits, marble-core sculptures, and a literal Moai head house. Aesthetics that feel imported and not exactly grown in Bikini Bottom. At first, I thought it was just a funny character design, but the more I pulled this thread, the more it felt like a subtle hint from the writers. A suggestion that Squidward's longing for higher culture isn't just a wild dream, maybe it's a memory of something older, a standard he can't quite name but desperately chases. What's even weirder is that when he finally gets what he claims to want at Tentacle Acres, he still feels hollow and pointless. He doesn't feel right surrounded by his own species.
Yeah, because he basically doing the same ass shit, same ass stuff all over again. And he realized, he like, bro, I don't want to be doing the same ass stuff like everybody else is doing, bro. Playing clarinet, going to dance class, shopping, going to work, and all that other stuff, bro. Like, that's kind of pretty boring. And I understand, like, you really just don't. This episode, what it gave me, bro, it's like, bro, you can't hang around a certain group of people for that long in the long run. Sometimes the group will separate. Like in high school, you might have a big group and all that, bro. That group will separate after graduation. I'm telling y'all, after graduation, you, Jimbo, Lil Mama, Ted, Fred, Ned, and a nigga Kenny Kell all gonna separate and go into different colleges. Some of them gonna go to the workforce. Some of them just gonna go work playing jobs. Some of them gonna do content. Some of them, they just gonna freaking be, I got that 3.5. Like one of those type of dudes.
He's different, and he knows it. We always thought the Squidville episode was about Squidward learning to value SpongeBob and Patrick. Behind all the yelling and hatred about their shenanigans, Squidward truly enjoys being slightly weird and childish, just like his neighbors. But now I've realized maybe Squidville is the clue we need, a breadcrumb pointing to Squidward's hidden identity. Think about it. If Squidward just wanted peace and quiet, then Tentacle Acres should have been his paradise, right? An exclusive community built only for his own kind, golden gates, identical houses, clarinets on every corner. On paper, this looks like everything he ever dreamed of. Yet Tentacle Acres still feels wrong for Squidward. Everyone there lives the exact same life. They ride the same bikes, eat the same food, play the same instrument. There's no variety or spark in their days. I just couldn't understand, why would an entire community of Squidwards build golden gates to shut the world out, only to lock themselves inside a suburb of boredom? So hear me out. I think Tentacle Acres is only a copy, a shallow imitation of something they've always dreamed of. Because if you look closely, Tentacle Acres feels like a knockoff version of Atlantis. The gates, the exclusivity, and the whole promise of perfection. It's definitely a reference to Atlantis. But without the culture or history, and without the true purpose of an advanced civilization. And I think Squidward subconsciously knows it, though he may not fully realize it, he understands that Tentacle Acres is not the real thing. This may sound exaggerated. I can already hear you guys saying, come on, Squidville isn't that deep. But don't you remember?
Yeah, it is that deep though, because like, bro, once he was like realizing, like, bro, doing the same stuff with Loki kind of boring. Man, it's time to switch it up. Like, you see how he grabbed that blow up thing, the little vacuum blow up thing he was playing with it and all that. He like, bro, this is actually fun to be childish. Like, for all your females and all my niggas, bro. If a female said, "Oh my God, you too childish," and this and that, but she be the same one, be laughing and giggling at your joke. She just be only doing that because she be having no mood swings. You gotta watch out for girls and same ass niggas too. Niggas be saying, "Girl, you childish as hell. You too grown to be acting like that." The nigga be trying to act like he grown. He know he's still childish inside. Ain't nothing wrong being childish till y'all be old, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that stuff. Be childish in a good way. Don't be childish in a bad way. Be in a good way.
There's another episode that plays around with the idea of Squidward and his exclusive community, Cephalopod Lodge. Once every few months, Squidward sneaks away to a pyramid-shaped building. Inside, he puts on a robe, does secret handshakes, and joins a group of cephalopods in ancient rituals. Now here's the important part. The lodge claims its traditions go back for centuries. Their initiation ritual even involves facing down a moray eel, as if every new member has to relive some ancient feud. Mind you, this isn't just a goofy club like Goofy Goober. It's a secret society built on superiority. Outsiders are treated like heretics.
That nigga got a big ass nose. What the fuck?
It's a secret society built on superiority.
Shit! That nigga nose big. That dude gonna save us from freaking Corona Part 2. And hey, bro, we ever had Corona? Call on this man. Golly, that man nose big.
Superiority. Outsiders are treated like heretics. When SpongeBob and Patrick sneak in, the leader acts like the sacred order itself has been violated. And Squidward? He takes it deadly serious. He says,
"This almost makes the other 353 days worth living for."
See that? Unlike Tentacle Acres, Cephalopod Lodge gives Squidward the fulfillment of a secret society. So ask yourself, why would Squidward pour so much meaning into a club that seems designed only to exclude others? Why does he care so deeply about rituals, robes, and rules that most of Bikini Bottom doesn't even know exist? Suddenly, Squidward's obsession with exclusivity no longer looks like personal vanity. It looks like a memory, a generational memory to be precise. Knowledge passed down through generations, societies, and bloodlines. Which brings us back to the question
that
we've
was
been
his mom?
Societies and bloodlines.
Well, that's his mama? Man, he got his grandma's skin tone then, because his grandma was light. This had to be his mama then. Mom, dad. Well, I say they kind of skin tone. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Which brings us back to the question we've been asking all along. What is Squidward? Really? In the episode before anyone even says road trip, Squidward is already in the museum praising Neptune's ascension, the only surviving painting from the great lost city of Atlantis. And listen carefully to the way he talks about it.
All the inventions you take for granted were given to us by the Atlanteans. Their advances in art, financial wealth, and weaponry were eons ahead of their time.
He recognizes the amulet, names the city, brags about the streets of gold, and gives a mini lecture. Atlanteans' advanced art, wealth, weaponry, eons ahead of their time. It's like he grew up with the stories. Then on the trip, everyone sings about what they want from Atlantis. Krabs wants treasure, Sandy wants science. Meanwhile, Squidward wants...
As a connoisseur of fine art, Atlantis, my art will be prophetic.
He's here to make history, guys.
I guess.
He knows what he's gonna do. And when they arrive, he's the first to scold the gang for wrecking the topiary garden. Details that no one else cares about, he notices immediately. My man has respect for the culture, instinctively. Instead, he locks onto the Hall of Arts. LRH, the Atlantean leader, asks, "What is art?" And Squidward answers academically.
Art is the conscious arrangement of elements in a manner that affects a sense of beauty.
LRH pushes further, says, "Art is what happens when you learn to dream." And Squidward steps into paintings like he's crossing a border back home. He breaks in.
Yeah, nigga, I ain't lying to you. As soon as that nigga would threw me that paint, I probably would have been freaking out. I ain't lying to you. What the fuck, man? This ain't no Ghost of Jealousy on some Michael Jackson stuff. What the fuck you got going on here?
In the song about being a living work of art and lands the line that broke my mind.
Isn't this great? Isn't this neat? I'm a living work of art from my head to my feet. I can wait for your impression to congeal. But Atlantis is where I want to spend eternity.
I don't learn to you. A painting life sucks. All you do is just stuck as the painting, bro. Like the Mona Lisa, just sitting, looking at you like this the whole time, bro. And you think it is looking at you the whole time. It looking at you. You ain't tripping.
It takes Squidward less than a day in Atlantis for him to be fully convinced this is his true dream. This is where he belongs for the rest of his life. Even the Atlanteans accept him. One artist literally says,
"I'm really digging this squid's form."
So Squidward decides to stay and inspire them while the others keep touring. Later at dinner, he's fully satisfied and says, "I've learned more about painting in a few hours here than I did in 4 years of community college." Atlantis completes him as a person. And when it's time to leave, his final line is a last-ditch confession.
And back to my depressing life of quiet desperation. Turn this bus around!
But it's too late. The ancient bubble is gone, thanks to SpongeBob and Patrick, and the long dream of living out his life in Atlantis stays as just a dream.
Damn.
So we ask the big question, why does Atlantis feel like home to Squidward when nothing else does? Remember about Squidward's body? The part we thought of was a weird design choice? Because this is where everything makes sense. Now compare him inside Atlantis. The aesthetic faces, long noses, lips, posture, palate aligns with Atlanteans more than with any cephalopod in the Seven Seas. Squidward also strangely shares the same interest with Atlanteans. Whether it's classic music, styles of painting, or Roman cultural references, they both practically worship it. All these details are too good to be coincidence. I'm convinced Squidward is a long-lost descendant of Atlantis. Now, of course, the show itself never really said anything canonically about this connection.
Yeah, ain't this like was only one series thing? I feel like they should have did a part 2 series, but it blew up the bubble. Ain't the Atlantis people didn't even want them people to come back down there, bro? That's kind of crazy, bro.
After all, SpongeBob as a show never really gets in too deep with stuff like this. But I think the story about Squidward's predecessors is not hard to guess. Based on what we saw in Atlantis Squarepantis, we've not seen any other race other than Atlantean. That means this place also takes pride in their race exclusivity. And since it was explained that the Atlanteans brought the ancient bubbles with them when they first colonized planet Earth a long time ago, there's no picture of anyone other than an Atlantean there, so it's safe to say no Atlantean married anyone other than an Atlantean themselves on their home planet. But there's never been any details about the time of their arrival. We could assume that the Atlanteans might be very open to everyone when they first arrived. After all, it's only sensible to be civil toward the locals, right? They would share their culture, technologies, even their wealth to regular fish in the seas. And if you do know something about colonization, it's not a rare case for any of those newcomers to get married and form new families with locals. In fact, this practice was really common throughout mankind's history, even going back just a few hundred years. Somewhere in that time, an Atlantean bloodline intermarried with cephalopods, an octopus to be precise. The result, generations later, is Squidward's species, six-limbed, human-postured, art-obsessed, carrying a cultural memory he can't explain, and a yearning he can't satisfy. And every few generations, the diluted traits line up, and one descendant looks and thinks more like an Atlantean than an octopus. That's Squidward, the one in his species who actually creates art, seeks patronage, and thrives only in Atlantean halls. And what happens to the rest of his kind? The ones who remember fragments of greatness but can't access it? They build copies. Tentacle Acres is a copy of Atlantean perfection, golden gates but with no soul. Cephalopod Lodge is a copy of Atlantean exclusivity, rituals without enlightenment. And Squidward is the inheritance stuck between them. He's the one who remembers genetically and culturally what his people were aiming for, yet he's trapped living inside their cargo cult leftovers.
Because I feel like low-key, Squidward is going to forever be stuck with SpongeBob and Patrick in the Bikini Bottom. If it's like oppressing Israel, whatever he have going on, bro, he's still going to be stuck there regardless, bro. Like, I'm just saying.
I mean, Squidward's else will work. Not Bikini Bottom, not Squidville, not even his own species. Because beneath the 6 tentacles in the clarinet, Squidward is Atlantean. Or rather, the diluted descendant of an Atlantean. A proof of a time when Atlantis opened its gates, mingled with locals, and then shut itself off forever. Which, ironically, is the darkest part of the story. Because if Atlantis really did once welcome outsiders, why did they stop? Why did they exile bloodlines like Squidward's? What makes the people of Atlantis shut themselves in?
They might went to war with each other, and like it might happen. Like, you know how SpongeBob and Patrick blew that bubble. What if that the whole time that was a second bubble they did, and that was not the greatest bubble they ever did. Their first bubble they had during the war popped, so they act like it happened. They blew another bubble and put it right there, and they popped it again. Now watch it. The cycle might repeat because what's it called? What's that name? The name? Who was the goddess for SpongeBob? I forgot. King Natsu, right? Not the movie one, but the one with the beard and buff and had a son and all that. What if they went to war with the Atlanteans and all that?
And make their palace exclusive? I think the answer is pretty clear, right? I mean, the episode itself perfectly explained it. Because somewhere in that time period, they met a lot of people like SpongeBob and Patrick, people that didn't share the same values as they did. Chaotic, restless, short-sighted locals who couldn't respect Atlantean culture. I'm willing to bet that there's an accident somewhere similar to these ancient bubbles, where locals just act foolishly and end up destroying something important. So the Atlanteans
I feel like that was a setup regardless.
decide to make a big decision, to exile anyone of mixed race or mixed blood from Atlantis in order to keep their bloodlines pure, including Squidward's race. Which brings us to the hard truth this story's been hiding. Squidward actually found home in Atlantis, recognized it, and then lost it all over again. So, after finding this...
Yeah, so after he finally realized that he would never get that back ever again, it was just a one-time experience. It is what it is. Move on, Squidward. Anyways, we're going to roll to 500, and I'm out.